Izumi is a high school boy who suffers from severe unluckiness. After saying goodbye and walking to school, he trips on his porch, suffers from truck exhaust, and falls on a rope trying to avoid bird droppings. But his unluckiness doesn't bother him, and he stays positive. On his way to school, he sees his girlfriend Shikimori. Shikimori has a kind attitude and is admired by many. Izumi suffers from unluckiness again when a truck almost hits him, but Shikimori saves him, and Izumi finds her protective personality cool. Today they have new class assignments, and Izumi wants to be with Shikimori again. Luckily this year they share a class with each other, alongside their friends Shu, Yui, and Kyo. They will all be second-year students together. In class, Izumi fails to introduce himself properly, and almost gets hit by a blackboard eraser. Shikimori saves him again, but ends up in an embarrassing position. While Shikimori is out of the room, their classmates complain to Izumi that he is too boring to be in a relationship with Shikimori, and he should keep his unluckiness away from her. However, she overheard them and subtly threatens them. Izumi is happy that Shikimori defended him, but he doesn't want her to worry about him. Shu suggests they all leave class together and have fun with the rest of their friends, and they all decide to go bowling. Shu and Kyo have a competition over who can bowl the best, and Shikimori tells Izumi that she is a novice. But in reality she is excellent at bowling and is faking it for his sake. Their friends all bowl with different strategies, with Yui getting a strike with very bad form. Meanwhile, while Izumi bowls badly, he encourages his girlfriend to try her best, and everyone watches as Shikimori bowls a perfect game with all strikes. After their friends leave, they walk home together and Izumi feels bad that Shikimori has to defend him all the time. But when a sign almost falls on Izumi, Shikimori kicks it out of the way and tells him that everything will be alright as long as he stays with her. The school is doing a sports tournament, with the boys playing soccer while the girls play volleyball. The girls wear the same headband for good luck, even though Yui hates the look. Izumi knows that he isn't good at sports, and he hopes to support Shikimori, but they will have their matches at the same time. Izumi encourages Shikimori to try her best so that their class can win the tournament. Izumi tries very hard in his soccer match, but his natural unluckiness gets in the way, and he gets hit by the ball. The girls watch in horror as the ball takes him out, and Shikimori takes him to the nurse's office. The girls' volleyball match starts, and Kyo teases Yui because she is already exhausted. The rival team has Kamiya, a strong volleyball player and a school ace. Their class starts to lose against Kamiya and her team, but when Izumi and Shu arrive on the stands, Izumi cheers Shikimori on. A determined Shikimori rallies the team, and alongside Kyo the two of them win the volleyball match. All their friends congratulate Shikimori, and she becomes a minor celebrity at school. Over the next couple of days, many girls arrive to take pictures with Shikimori. Meanwhile, Shu gets hit in the face by a passing volleyball. But when Izumi takes care of Shu, Shikimori becomes angry and jealous. Shu continues to suffer accidents due to Izumi's bad luck, and that night Shikimori stops him from walking home alone, and they leave the school together. One day Shu has 2 free tickets to the movies, so he gives them to Izumi. Izumi asks a happy Shikimori to the movies and she accepts. But Izumi remembers that on his previous dates with Shikimori, disaster always struck. Izumi is determined to have a great date at the movies, so he prepares a large backpack full of items to prepare for his bad luck. Meanwhile, Shikimori is stuck deciding on what to wear for the date. On the day of the date, Izumi leaves early to avoid his luck problem and is shocked to see Shikimori has dressed up for the date. Izumi hopes to watch a romantic movie with Shikimori, but when he gives her the choice to see anything, Shikimori picks a horror movie for them to watch. Izumi has watched horror movies before, so he hopes to impress her by not being scared. But the horror movie soon terrifies Izumi, and Shikimori has to comfort him. Afterwards they go to a bakery, but Izumi has unfortunately lost his wallet. And when they walk home, they meet Izumi's parents, who invite them over for dinner. Shikimori defends Izumi from accidents over dinner, and his mother Motoko thanks Shikimori for being patient with her son and his bad luck. Shikimori promises to always protect Izumi and compliments his always happy spirit. Izumi later wakes up from a nap to see Shikimori and his father Akasada playing video games, and he walks Shikimori home. She promises the next time, he'll get to pick the movie. Summer has arrived, so Izumi and their friends hang out on the school roof because it is too hot. Since Izumi almost overheats, his friends help him with water and an umbrella. Kyo suggests they go to the beach, but Shu reminds them about Izumi's sensitivity to the sun and suggests they go to the river instead. Everyone agrees, except for Yui, who wants to stay inside with air conditioning. Although Izumi and Shikimori want to study for exams, their friends take them to the mall to shop for the trip, and Shikimori teases him about swimsuits. The girls go swimsuit shopping together, and Shikimori is embarrassed because she wants to buy skimpy swimwear for Izumi. Kyo remembers when she and Yui first met Shikimori, the pink-haired girl seemed unapproachable. Kyo wanted to be her friend, and they finally became friends after having a fierce basketball match with each other, which brought out their competitive sides. Kyo decides to help Shikimori to get a swimsuit. The girls return to the boys, but although she tries to hide it, Izumi can tell Shikimori had bought something. Izumi is worried that bad luck will strike and he will do poorly in the exams the next day, but Shikimori cheers him up by calling him. They watch the stars together, and Izumi reveals that bad luck always prevented stargazing with his father, so Shikimori promises that one day they will see the stars properly with each other. She hangs up in embarrassment when Izumi calls her amazing. Izumi, Shikimori, and their friends arrive at the river town for their summer trip. At the river they decide to hold a barbecue together, but after seeing Shu's poor cooking skills, Izumi volunteers to prepare the food. His friends are surprised that Izumi is a great cook, and he tells them he was taught by his mother. Everyone expects Shikimori to be an amazing cook, but she ends up being pretty terrible. And Izumi forces himself to eat her food because she put so much effort into cooking it. After the barbecue, the group decide to have s'mores for dessert, which Shikimori has never had before. Shikimori and Izumi share a moment together while everyone heads to the river to swim. Yui has brought a giant inflatable shell, while Kyo tries to cheer on Shikimori, who is embarrassed about her swimsuit. Izumi notices a girl being carried away by the river current and goes to help her, but after saving her from the river, he hurts himself and starts to sink and drown. Izumi dives in to save him and is able to take him back to land. The girl then kisses Izumi on the cheek for saving her. Izumi and his friends play in the river together, where Izumi compliments Shikimori on her new swimsuit. The friends then head into town where they go shopping and to eat ice cream together, and Izumi and Shikimori, with Izumi eating some of Shikimori's ice cream. But then Shu eats some of Izumi's ice cream, which shocks Shikimori and makes her incredibly angry. They return to the train to go home, and everyone falls asleep on the train. But later, Shikimori wakes up to see Izumi sleeping on Shu's shoulder, so she moves his head to her own. Izumi had fun at the river. He later suffers from sunburn. He later sees news about a fireworks festival and invites Shikimori to see the fireworks with him. Izumi's parents give him a yukata to wear for the festival, and Izumi is looking forward to it because Shikimori has never been to a fireworks festival before. Meanwhile, Shikimori's brother Fuji helps her dress for the festival. As usual, Izumi has prepared a lot for the festival in case he gets bad luck, and he's shocked with how cute Shikimori's looks in a traditional dress. They have fun at the festival together and then have cotton candy together. Izumi then becomes determined to win Shikimori a prize in a shooting game. But since he fails badly, Shikimori wins a wolf plushie by easily winning the game. They later meet their friends who have also arrived at the festival, but Shikimori and Shu become competitive over a goldfish game after Shikimori watches Izumi lose the game. At the end of the festival, Shikimori notices that she has bruises on her feet from walking around in sandals. Izumi wanted to take Shikimori to a special spot to see fireworks, but he wonders if they should try next year instead. But Shikimori encourages him, so he carries her. They finally make it atop the hill and watch the fireworks together. Izumi reveals that he wanted to take Shikimori to the festival last year, but was too scared to ask, and Shikimori thanks him for inviting her this year. The school has a cultural festival after summer, and Izumi was assigned to the costuming group for the class's animal cafe this year. On the first day of the festival, Izumi compliments Shikimori on her cute animal costume, and they join the rest of the class in running the cafe. Shikimori gets a lot of attention for her costume, but Izumi becomes overworked and almost trips until he is saved by Shikimori. The next day they will be working separately, with Izumi working at the library instead of the cafe with Shikimori. But Shikimori encourages him to do well, and that she will also try her best. The only person also working library duty is Kamiya, who Izumi knows because last year they were on the library committee together. Since everyone else is having fun at the festival, the library is quiet, and Kamiya tells Izumi that she appreciates the quiet. Kamiya then tries to question Izumi on his relationship with Shikimori, saying that she is interested in his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Shikimori is grumpy because she didn't get paired up with Izumi in the couple's number game, where students have to find the other student with their number and take a picture together. Shikimori becomes determined to switch numbers with whoever has Izumi's. Meanwhile, Izumi has determined that Kamiya might have feelings for Shikimori, so he tells her that last year the two of them had the same couple's number, which eventually led to them dating after Izumi asked Shikimori out. Meanwhile, in this year's couples game, Kamiya has Izumi's number. Kamiya imagines herself in a fancy ballroom, where she watches her crush Izumi dance with Shikimori while she is forced to be on the sidelines. She talks with Izumi in the library, and they talk about a movie she wants him to watch about a forbidden love. Kamiya gets a text from Kyo, who later comes and asks her to meet Shikimori outside. Shikimori and Kyo have discovered that Kamiya has Izumi's number, so Shikimori asks if they can trade. Kamiya reluctantly agrees to trade, and Shikimori notices Kamiya looking at Izumi. Afterwards, Kamiya goes to the roof alone to suppress her feelings, and she meets Shikimori, who wishes to give Kamiya back her number. Shikimori feels that it would be unfair to Kamiya's feelings to take the number. Although they are rivals for Izumi, Shikimori does not want things to be bad between them, and Kamiya tells she never intended anyone to find out about her feelings. Kamiya starts to cry and promises to avoid Izumi from now on, but Shikimori rips up the number and hugs Kamiya, encouraging her to cherish her feelings and thanking her for caring about Izumi so much. Izumi then wishes Shikimori and Izumi happiness, and Shikimori leaves. Since Izumi forgot to give Shikimori a birthday present last year, he buys a locket as a gift for her birthday. The class have an after party to celebrate the successful cultural festival, and Shikimori reveals to her friend that she never ended up taking a couple's photo with Izumi. Later that night, Izumi gives Shikimori the locket, and he thanks her for making him a stronger person, and that he feels relaxed with her. The two embrace and promise to never leave each other. Izumi becomes sick, so he asks Shu to take notes for him in class. Shikimori becomes jealous, and Shu feels like Shikimori is unfairly treating him like a love rival to Izumi, and he later complains about this to Kyo and Yui. Kyo tries to defend Shikimori, but they have noticed that Shikimori seems to feel some jealousy towards Shu because of how close he is to Izumi. Shu and Shikimori later walk to Izumi's house, and they get medicine for their friend. But while shopping, Shikimori accidentally calls Shu brother. They later run into Yui, who was secretly following and investigating them. She determines that Shikimori treats Shu coldly because she might see him as an older brother figure, and is treating him like she treats her own older brother. Shu is surprised but happy that Shikimori doesn't hate him. Shikimori later goes to the mall with Kyo, and they run into Kamiya. Kyo goes to greet Kamiya, and is surprised when Kamiya agrees to hang out with the other girls at the mall. After exploring the mall together, Shikimori wins treats for Kamiya at an arcade. Afterwards, they go to a basketball court where they compete against two other girls for the right to use the court. Even though their opponents are skilled, Shikimori and Kamiya are able to work together and beat the other girls, and they all take a photo together. Shikimori later goes home, and Kyo tells Kamiya that she seemed to be smiling naturally today, and Kyo hopes that Kamiya will keep smiling from now on. And Kamiya thanks Kyo for pushing her to be more sociable. The sports festival arrives, and since there are no volunteers, Izumi and Yui end up being selected to represent their class for the relay race. To help their friends, Shu, Shikimori, and Kyo decide to join the race as well to represent the class. Because they want to try their best, they decide to train after school even though Yui wishes to quit. After school, they start training, but Izumi and Yui, who are not athletic, struggle to improve. After their friends leave, Yui and Izumi secretly train together to not disappoint their friends in the race. The athletics festival begins, and they all take part in different competitions. And Yui surprises her friends by winning second place in the bag tossing competition. Yui doesn't like sports, but she appreciates the festival more with her friends cheering her on. Before the main race, Shikimori tells Yui that it doesn't matter if they lose as long as they try their best, but Yui can tell Shikimori wants to win. The race starts with a strong performance by Kyo. Yui tries to run the second leg but trips and falls, but she forces herself to stand up and continue for her friends. Izumi continues the baton but loses a shoe, but he decides to run anyway in his socks. Shikimori gets the baton and easily starts to pass the other classes, and seeing how hard his friends are trying, Shu gives his all and wins the race for the class. As they all celebrate, Yui is happy and proud of their friends, and realizes she had fun at the sports festival. Years ago, a young Izumi grew up with terrible luck. Although he had friends, he started to avoid them because they kept getting hurt by his bad luck. In the present day, Shikimori goes clothes shopping for an upcoming date with Izumi, but is annoyed that her brother Fuji has come along to supervise her. Izumi and Shikimori plan to go to an amusement park together, and Shikimori is determined to have a romantic date. Shikimori then helps Fuji avoid girls who approach him, because Fuji is bad at talking to people he doesn't know. When the two siblings were younger, they competed in karate together. Fuji was better at karate because he was older, and Shikimori struggled to beat him. One day, Fuji told her that he was quitting karate even though he wins tournaments. He tells her to pursue her own dreams and to be herself. One day, after reading a romance manga, Shikimori becomes inspired to become cute and find romance, and she quits karate as well. She later meets Izumi on the first day of high school, but ruins her cute girl image by climbing up a tree to help him get his lost exam ticket. Shikimori becomes upset that Izumi saw her unladylike image, but when they meet again, he thanks her for helping him. And when explaining his bad luck to her, Shikimori and Izumi fall in love with each other. In the present day, Shikimori sees some cute lipstick but decides not to buy it when it's too expensive. But that night she finds that Fuji bought it for her future date with Izumi. The day of the amusement park date, Shikimori dreams of a romantic time with Izumi. At the park, Shikimori dresses up in the gift shop, and they decide to ride on a new ride together. Waiting for the Sleeping Beauty ride, Izumi tells Shikimori that while he likes her cute side, he loves to see all sides of her personality. Izumi asks if she has any dreams, and Shikimori tells him that her dreams have already come true when they met each other. On the ride, Izumi accidentally falls asleep and Shikimori almost kisses him before they are interrupted. Then after a fun day at the park, they decide to go to a restaurant together. Izumi's bad luck hits and they lose their table, but then they get an unexpected upgrade. Shikimori and Izumi then trade compliments to each other during dinner and embarrass each other. And after dinner, Shikimori tells Izumi that she wants to be like the couple in the amusement park commercial. At first, Izumi misunderstands that she wants her hands held, but finds out that she was really talking about kissing. They go on the romantic gondola ride together, but the park suddenly runs out of power. Using their phones as light, they talk about their future together and remembering that Shikimori was scared that they might drift apart in the future. Izumi kisses Shikimori on her cheek and tells her that he will always love her. They embrace, and while power returns to the park, they decide to stay in each other's arms. The next day, Izumi and Shikimori are embarrassed to tell their friends what happened on the date. But an excited Kyo and Yui are disappointed that they didn't have a true kiss. Their friends are happy for them, but Yui wonders if they act like kindergartners or an elderly couple, but that they will probably be happy regardless. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.